totally different bucket list.
Why?
Going way up in the bucket like that. That's a weird bucket list.
Well, here it is, with all its glory.
Yeah, with all its glory. This, you know, one of the happiest days in a tractor owner's life has got to be when that truck pulls in the driveway with your new tractor, and it certainly was for us. Let's take a walk around. I gotta tell you, first off, this is not going to be a diss the 1025 video. Yes, we went from the 1025 to the 2038. What I'll rather do is explain to you why we did it. We love the 1025, but there are reasons why we needed a bigger tractor. Let's look at those. First and foremost, lift. You know, you're using a tractor, lift is absolutely critical. The 1025's lift capacity was 758 pounds, where you've got 1,356 pounds on the 2038. Now, obviously, that's at the pin. That's back here. That's about 24 inches off the tip of the bucket. So when you are moving something, are you going to get 1,356 pounds in there? No, probably not. You are going to be limited as to how high you can get it, obviously, with the more weight that you have. Horsepower. It's not the be-all to end-all, certainly. The 1025 Deere rates at 23.9 horsepower. The 2038 is at 36.9, almost 37 horsepower. It is, take a walk over here. This is the business side of the tractor, and as you can see, it's turbocharged. So I think we've got the maximum amount of power we're going to get from a tractor this size. The horsepower, I don't think you can ever have too much horsepower, so that's going to hopefully add us and also add to the jobs that we're going to be able to take on. It does come with the bucket leveler too. Now the Kubota had a sticker on the front bucket, that theory being that when you're looking down at the front bucket, that gave you an idea of how level you were or were not. I'll tell you this, problem with this tractor is you can't see the top of the bucket when you're sitting up in the cab. So having the bucket leveler is absolutely huge. Let's take a look at the front tires. The 1025 had 18 by 8.5 tires, where this is 23.8.5 on the front tires. They also are cupped, so they're reversible. I could reverse this tire, which would give me a little wider stance. I don't want to do that. We're going to do something different. We're going to put probably wheel spacers on the front, 1.5 to 2 inches, mainly because, you know, I want the valve stem accessible. I don't work any harder than I have to. Having the valve stem accessible is a big thing, and I'll tend to check the tire pressure more often. Let's put it that way. Let's go to the other side. 1025 had 26 by 12 tires. This is 36 by 14. A much, much larger tire. Again, we're going to put wheel spacers on this. We're going to do that together. We'll put wheel spacers all around the tractor. The wheelbase, the overall wheelbase at 57 inches on the 1025, 67.8 inches on the 2038. These tractors are tippy. We all know that. Having a wider wheelbase is absolutely critical, as is the weight of the tractor. 1,556 pounds is the shipping weight on the 1025. Shipping weight on this tractor is 2,910 pounds. That's a significant weight difference. Again, that makes a difference when you're talking about the stability of the tractor. I'll tell you one thing that I am going to miss on the 1025. You know, I thought about the 3 or the 4 series, but actually this, even with its size, is going to be an issue sometimes. The 1025 was wonderful for getting in people's backyards. It was a smaller stance. It also had a turning radius of just over 8 feet. This tractor is just under 10 feet. So that is going to make a difference in working in people's backyards. One thing I am really excited about is right here, and you're looking at it from a good angle, is the lift of the 3-point hitch. That is something that's inherently a problem with the smaller subcompact tractors, is the lower max lift height of the 3-point hitch. Why is it a problem? Well, you know, for one thing, getting on and off a trailer with a ballast box or a tiller and having it scraping the ramp of the trailer bed, the trailer ramp rather. I mean, that is absolutely an issue. The PTO horsepower, which is going to determine the types and the sizes of attachments that you're going to be able to run. A little over 17 pounds on the 1025, 30.4 pounds for the 2038. We've got more horsepower back here. We're going to be able to do more things with more horsepower. Also, extremely important, let's face it, everything on these tractors is hydraulic. 2,000 PSI is what the 1025 max PSI was set at the factory. I know there's ways of increasing that. 2,495 or almost 2,500 pounds per square inch for the 2038. More power. You're maybe not having to work the tractor as hard. There are things you're going to be able to do that you weren't able to do with the 1025. How about fuel? Got to have fuel, right? 6.3 gallons was the max on the 1025. 8.5 gallons is the max on the 2038. The Curtis Advantage cab. It's not a Mauser. It's not a Tektite. I understand that. It's an affordable cab. It was affordable for us. It does what we want to do. What you will see, the lights, this is where the DPF comes into play when it does go through a regen cycle. Look, I know it's not as simple as if there wasn't a regen. I understand that, but it's not that big a deal. You can continue to work. It's going to ask you to raise the RPMs of the tractor up 20 minutes or so, and it's going to be done with the cycle. So again, I don't really understand the big issue. Here's something I absolutely love about this tractor over here on the other side of the steering wheel. Test if you can get that. Obviously, this is the throttle. This is auto throttle. And this is really, I do a lot of loader work. And what this allows me to do would be to set the throttle at a lower position as maybe I'm attacking the pile. Now I'm going to transport the product to wherever I'm going with it. Just by pressing the accelerator pedal harder, it will raise the RPMs of the tractor up. I guess the easiest way to describe it is kind of like your automobile. You don't have a separate throttle. Your throttle is tied to the accelerator pedal. That's what this thing does. Over here is a heater. I don't have air conditioning. What I do is I'll take the doors off in the summertime, probably even the back window. And for the work that we do and where we live in Western New York, that'll be sufficient. Not to say that there won't be some hot days, because there will. Also the front wiper, which will be great when we're plowing all that snow this winter. This is where you engage the PTO, which is very, very convenient. I tend to look over my right shoulder, so I'm turned that way, and having this here, where the 1025, it was up on the dash. It's kind of cumbersome. It does have cruise control, and then we've got a couple other spaces that we can add accessories later on. And I did already talk about that we're going to be adding a third function and some rear SCVs on the tractor as well. Let me come around that side. Actually, I could probably come this way. This is probably one of the biggest complaints about the 2038 is this is the so-called toolbox. It's small. It's probably about half the size of the 1025. You know what, we'll make do. Not that big a deal from as far as I'm concerned. Here's where the four-wheel drive engages, simply pulling it up. And here's the rear diff lock. I love the parking brake. Again, the 1025 was a latch up here. I constantly confused it with the cruise control. That's probably just me, but that's very positive, and I like that. I love the ease of use. I love the thinking of the Deere designers on several features with this tractor. This is one right here. Here's your fuel shutoff. Very easy to get at. It's going to be very easy to take and check the water separator as well. I just think that's really good thinking. Here's another one. Checking the oil. Checking the oil on the 1025, you really had to take the sides off to check it. Here, again, right here. Just smart, makes sense, and that's what we want to see when we're spending the kind of money that we're spending for these tractors. So what do you think? What do you think of our new baby?
Oh, I think it's going to be high maintenance, but it's okay.
Kind of like me. High maintenance, but just okay. This is a great tractor. I'm so excited about this. This is my third tractor. I loved my Kubota. I absolutely loved my 1025R. This is by far the best tractor I've ever owned. Kind of don't feel like I'm deserving of it. I mean, it is just, it's everything I ever wanted in a tractor. We're going to take you guys along as we do some jobs. But first, We're going to have a series about improving this. There is a whole host of upgrades that we're going to do to this tractor. We're going to do them together. You'll learn, I learn. Again, comments, please. Please like and subscribe. We want to keep this going, and we need your help to do that. So again, thank you so much. God bless you all, and thank you for being with us on Tractors in Life.